Welcome back, collectors. Today we're diving into one of the most electrifying treasures in American coin history, the ultra-rare The Top 5 Most Valuable Jefferson War Nickel, a silver-packed wartime masterpiece that's turning heads and skyrocketing in value. This isn't just another 5-cent piece, it's a historic survivor of World War II, a masterpiece minted during America's fight for freedom, and one of the most sought-after Jefferson nickels on the market today. If you love hidden value, rare silver coins, and numismatic stories that send chills down your spine, you're in the right place. Get ready, because this tiny wartime nickel carries big money potential, massive collector demand, and a legacy you simply can't ignore. Let's jump into the world of rare coins and uncover the secrets behind this legendary USA treasure. Let's get started. First up in the 1944, P. Jefferson nickel has earned a respected place among United States wartime coinage, standing as one of the most historically meaningful and visually distinctive issues within the broader Jefferson series. Highly prized by collectors, this ultra-rare and most valuable variant of the Philadelphia minted war nickel era captures a unique chapter of American history while offering investors and numismatists a chance to own a piece of exceptional significance. Its combination of wartime silver composition, bold design features, scarce high-grade survivors, and powerful collector demand makes the 1944 P issue one of the standout examples in the entire Jefferson nickel family. Today, serious hobbyists actively seek out the finest specimens, not only for their rarity, but also for the upward trajectory of their market value in recent years. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel was minted during World War II, a period that dramatically reshaped U.S. coinage. Nickel metal, critical for armor plating, weapons components, and machinery, was diverted to the war effort. In response, the U.S. Mint replaced the standard 75% copper/25% nickel alloy with a special wartime composition consisting of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This special alloy ran from 1942 to 1945 and produced what collectors today refer to as the war nickels. The 1944 P issue represents the third full year of this historic change and was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the large P mint mark above Monticello on the reverse. A first in U.S. coinage history, since Philadelphia had never used a mint mark before 1942. The coin reflects not only the economic priorities of a nation at war, but also the mint's adaptive engineering under pressure. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel is its silver-bearing composition, which gives the coin a distinct appearance compared to regular pre- and post-war nickels. The obverse features Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson, sharply defined in early strikes and often showing strong detail in the hair, cheekbone, and collar. The reverse displays the classic rendering of Monticello, Jefferson's iconic estate, with crisp architectural lines, deep steps, and a stately presence that has become a benchmark for grading Jefferson nickels. The oversized P mint mark above the dome stands as a bold and unmistakable identifier of the wartime alloy. Weighing 5 grams and measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter, the coin looks familiar, yet unmistakably unique to seasoned collectors, especially in high-grade specimens exhibiting full steps, frosty luster, and exceptional surface preservation. The 1944 P nickels were minted. Truly rare pieces are those that survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, particularly examples with full steps, FS, designation on Monticello's stairs. Wartime planchets and striking irregularities made sharp details difficult to achieve, so FS specimens from 1944 P are considerably scarce. Additionally, many circulated heavily during the war, leaving few high-grade survivors today. Collectors also prize era varieties such as die cracks, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, RPMs, and late die state, strikes showing dramatic deterioration patterns. These anomalies increase rarity and elevate market value, especially when paired with premium grades from Piece GS or NGC. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel varies widely based on condition, eye appeal, and rarity of strike quality. Circulated examples typically range modestly, but high-end uncirculated pieces, especially those graded MS66 and above, command significantly higher prices. In recent years, typical MS66 non-FS pieces have often traded in the $60 to $150 range, while MS66 with full steps can fetch $300 to $800 depending on luster and strike. The rarest examples, such as MS67 or MS67FS, can sell for several $1,000s at auction, reflecting their extreme scarcity and desirability among advanced collectors. Particularly dramatic era coins or superb gem specimens with exceptional visual quality can exceed these ranges, and the overall upward trend in demand for wartime silver coinage keeps values strong and growing. The 1944 P nickel. First, its silver content ensures a base collectible appeal tied to intrinsic metal value. Second, its wartime origins give it a sense of narrative and emotional significance that resonates with collectors of all levels. Third, the difficulty of obtaining high-grade, sharply struck full steps examples drives competitive bidding among advanced numismatists. Finally, Jefferson nickels, especially the wartime issues, have recently experienced renewed popularity, with new generations of collectors entering the hobby and seeking historically meaningful pieces with relatively accessible entry points, but strong long-term appreciation potential. The most valuable versions of this coin should prioritize certified examples from trusted grading services such as PCGS or NGC, especially those labeled MS66 or higher. The full steps designation greatly enhances value, so close examination of the Monticello steps is essential. Buyers should watch for wear, soft strikes, cleaning marks, and environmental damage, as these can drastically reduce value. Storing the coin in airtight holders, slabs, or archival-safe materials helps prevent tarnish and silver tone progression. Those aiming for premium pieces should monitor major auction houses, reputable online dealers, and well-established numismatic communities where authenticated high-grade coins appear more frequently. The 1944 P nickel. Pay close attention to the obverse details on Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and hair, ensuring minimal contact marks and clear separation of design elements. On the reverse, look for sharp steps, symmetrical columns, and bold edges on Monticello's architecture. A desirable coin will show consistent luster, original surfaces, and no signs of cleaning or artificial toning. Collectors should also be aware of wartime die deterioration. While some deterioration varieties are collectible, excessive surface breakdown can lower grade potential. A coin with original mint brilliance and clean field stands out immediately and is worth acquiring. The 1944 P War nickels are heavily sought after. It's wise to target well-known auction houses, professional dealers with established reputations, and grading-verified marketplaces. These sources offer authenticated pieces with clear grade guarantees, ensuring buyers avoid counterfeits or altered coins. Numismatic shows and conventions can also be excellent locations for hands-on evaluation and negotiation, and many collectors build strong relationships with dealers who notify them when rare full steps or high MS examples become available. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel stands as an enduring symbol of America's wartime ingenuity, numismatic artistry, and evolving economic priorities. Its silver composition, unique mint mark placement, and distinguished design make it a standout within the Jefferson nickel series, while its scarcity in high grades ensures strong demand among seasoned collectors. Whether sought for historical significance, aesthetic appeal, or investment potential, the 1944 P remains a cornerstone of wartime United States coinage. As the numismatic market continues to appreciate the limited supply of exceptional examples, this iconic war-era nickel is likely to remain one of the most compelling and rewarding additions to any serious collection. Next up in the 1943, P. Wartime Jefferson nickel stands out as a coin whose historical weight, metal composition, and surprising scarcity in high-grade condition have pushed it into the upper tier of Jefferson series desirability. Although millions were minted, only a remarkably small fraction survived in pristine states, making exceptional examples intensely pursued in major auctions and private collector markets. For modern numismatists, the 1943 P serves as a symbol of wartime American ingenuity, a tangible artifact of national change, and one of the most appealing mid-20th century coins for investors seeking steady appreciation. Its value has continued to climb, particularly for ultra-high-grade pieces and scarce die varieties, positioning it as one of the most prized wartime nickels. The 1943 P nickel was minted during a period of global conflict when the United States government altered the traditional nickel alloy to preserve critical metals for World War II production. Normal nickel, essential to military machinery, was replaced with a composition of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This shift marked one of the most defining events in the Jefferson nickel series, resulting in a unique 3-year period, 1942 to 1945, of war nickels. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1943 P features a large mint mark above Monticello, an unusual design alteration used to signal the change in metal composition. This wartime background not only elevates the coin's historical importance, but also enhances collector fascination with its origins and purpose. The 1943 P stands apart from traditional nickel alloy pieces thanks to its distinctive silver-manganese tone, which can develop magnificent appeal in well-preserved examples. The obverse presents Felix Schlag's enduring portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse showcases the elegant architectural depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's iconic estate. The large P mint mark above Monticello is instantly recognizable and remains one of the hallmark identifiers of wartime silver nickels. With a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and weighing 5 grams, the coin retains the classic Jefferson nickel structure, but its wartime composition and unique mint mark placement give it a special place within the broader series. In high-grade mint state levels, the sharpness of the steps on Monticello, known as full steps, makes such examples rare and exceptionally valuable. The 1943 P nickels in uncirculated or near-perfect condition are significantly scarce. Many circulated heavily during wartime and post-war years, exposing them to environmental wear, silver corrosion, and handling damage. Collectors particularly prize examples with strong luster, minimal marks, and well-defined Monticello steps, as full steps coins are exceedingly difficult to find. Additionally, a small number of recognized die variations and striking anomalies add layers of rarity to the series, increasing collector competition for certified examples. The war nickel material itself, softer than traditional alloy, caused many coins to wear faster, making untouched examples even more desirable today. The 1943 P nickel varies dramatically by grade, but exceptional pieces regularly command premium prices. Circulated examples remain affordable, often ranging from $1 to $5, but higher-grade mint state specimens move quickly into more serious investment territory. Certified MS-65 pieces can bring $40 to $90, while MS-67 coins often achieve $400 to $1,000 at auction. The most impressive values, however, come from ultra-rare full steps coins in MS-67 or better grades, which can soar into the $3,000 to $12,000 plus range, depending on overall strike sharpness, luster, and market demand. With each passing year, the supply of top-tier wartime nickels tightens, reinforcing upward price trends and making the 1943 P one of the most valuable wartime Jefferson nickels. While the coin's silver content is not its main driver of value, it undeniably adds to the long-term appeal for investors seeking tangible metal-backed assets. The 35% silver composition ensures a baseline intrinsic value that cannot be replicated in modern clad nickels. This precious metal foundation, combined with its wartime significance and impressive performance in high-grade markets, gives the 1943 P a dual identity as both a historical collectible and a modest precious metal investment. As silver prices rise, lower-grade wartime nickels often experience a corresponding bump in numismatic interest. The 1943 P should focus on securing examples certified by reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC, particularly when seeking full steps or gem mint state pieces. Carefully examining strike quality, luster, and toning is essential, as wartime alloys often show oxidation or dulling. Proper storage, ideally in archival-grade holders, is crucial to prevent the silver content from toning or spotting further. For those hoping to build a wartime nickel set, the 1943 P is an important cornerstone, and obtaining the best possible specimen within budget significantly enhances both the visual appeal and long-term value of the collection. The 1943 P, and collectors often seek these as specialty investments. Some examples feature die breaks, repunched mint marks, or unique obverse-reverse combinations that can raise market value. Although not as widely known as major era coins in other denominations, these wartime nickel varieties occasionally appear in auctions with strong bidding activity due to their rarity and appeal to advanced Jefferson specialists. The demand for high-grade Jefferson nickels, including wartime issues, has surged as more collectors recognize the difficulty of finding pristine examples. Registry set competition has fueled premium prices for top-graded full steps coins, and investors have increasingly turned their attention toward mid-20th century U.S. coinage, driving up auction results across the board. The 1943 P, due to its silver composition and wartime heritage, has consistently charted upward in value, particularly in MS-67 FS grades, where records continue to be broken. The 1943 P bicentennial era wartime Jefferson nickel remains one of the most historically meaningful and financially compelling coins from the mid-1900s. Its distinctive silver alloy, striking wartime story, unique design details, and exceptional scarcity in top grades make it a prized acquisition for both new collectors and seasoned numismatists. Whether pursued for its beauty, historical significance, or market performance, the 1943 P offers a combination of rarity, artistry, and long-term value unmatched by many other coins in its class. As demand continues to grow and supply continues to shrink, this wartime treasure stands firmly as one of the most desirable Jefferson nickels ever produced. The 1943 P Jefferson nickel is the way its wartime composition interacts with natural toning over decades. Unlike traditional nickel alloy coins, the silver-manganese mixture tends to produce soft pastel hues, smoky gold halos, or deep blue-violet accents under certain storage conditions. These naturally toned examples, when paired with strong luster and clean fields, often command unexpectedly high premiums at auction because they appeal not only to Jefferson nickel specialists, but also to collectors of beautifully toned U.S. silver coins. In some cases, a superbly toned MS-67 specimen can outperform the prices of ordinary full steps examples simply because its eye appeal is extraordinary. As more collectors gravitate toward visually unique coins, the market has increasingly rewarded 1943 P nickels displaying original, undisturbed toning, especially when verified by top-tier grading services. The 1943 P nickel to a broader global audience, dramatically increasing its visibility and desirability. Online auction platforms, certified registry sets, and high-resolution coin photography have made it easier for collectors worldwide to recognize the difficulty of finding high-end wartime silver nickels with perfect strikes and strong steps. As competition intensifies, even mid-high grades, such as MS-66, have started to achieve stronger selling prices, reflecting a shift in collector priorities and a growing appreciation for these historically significant pieces. This expanded interest has also driven many newcomers to seek out the 1943 P as an accessible yet prestigious entry point into the Jefferson nickel series, further solidifying its reputation as one of the most important wartime coins to own in the modern numismatic market. Next up in the 1941 Jefferson nickel holds a respected place in American numismatics, not for being a wartime alloy issue or a commemorative coin, but for the select handful of ultra-high-grade survivors and rare varieties that elevate this otherwise common date into the category of elite, highly sought-after collectibles. Although millions were minted, only an extremely small percentage exist today in pristine condition, and those few exceptional examples, especially those with full steps details, have become standout prizes for collectors who focus on top-tier registry sets. The coin's dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson and iconic Monticello design continue to captivate enthusiasts, but it is the astonishing rarity at the highest grading levels that drives intense demand, record prices, and fierce competition among serious numismatists. The 1941 Jefferson nickel was struck during a pivotal moment in world history, on the eve of America's entry into World War II. It represents the final full year before the U.S. Mint abandoned its traditional nickel alloy for the wartime silver-based composition used from 1942 to 1945. As such, the 1941 issue stands as the last pre-war Jefferson nickel, minted with the original copper-nickel formula introduced in 1938. Produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, it reflects the stability of U.S. coinage before material shortages and national priorities shifted dramatically. Although not commemorative in nature, the coin indirectly captures a moment of calm before the wartime turbulence that would reshape American minting practices. The 1941 Jefferson nickel retains Felix Schlag's original design, featuring a left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse with finely sculpted facial contours and sharply defined hair waves when struck well. The reverse showcases the stately Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, with its dramatic domed roof, colonnaded entrance, and the elegant Monticello and 5 cents inscriptions. While its visual style is consistent with earlier issues, what makes the 1941 nickel truly stand out in the realm of high-grade collecting is the extreme difficulty of finding sharply struck examples with full steps detail, the complete, undisturbed horizontal lines on Monticello's staircase. These full steps coins represent the best possible strikes and are the primary driver of its ultra-rare status in top condition. The 1941 nickel's total mintage is enormous. Its true rarity lies in the scarcity of high-grade, sharply struck specimens free of contact marks, metal flow lines, and strike weakness. The majority of coins from all 3 mints were struck with worn dies or suffered from poor metal flow, resulting in incomplete steps and soft details. This makes a pristine 1941 full steps example exceptionally difficult to obtain. The Denver and San Francisco issues are particularly notorious for strike weakness, and thus any MS67 or MS67 plus full steps coin is considered ultra-rare. In addition, collectors pay special attention to varieties such as repunched mint marks, RPMs, doubled dies, and die cracks, which add desirable layers of rarity and interest to the 1941 date. The 1941 Jefferson nickel's value. While circulated pieces remain common and inexpensive, uncirculated examples graded MS66 and higher, especially those certified by PCGS or NGC, can command substantial premiums. Full steps designation, awarded only when Monticello's steps are completely visible and uninterrupted, transforms an otherwise modest coin into a high-value collectible. The combination of perfect luster, sharp strike, smooth surfaces, and unbroken steps is exceptionally rare, making such coins blue-chip investments in the Jefferson series. As competition in registry sets intensifies, the finest survivors continue to rise in value. The 1941 Jefferson nickels are those graded MS67 full steps or higher, with top examples reaching into the high 4-figure or even low 5-figure range depending on mint mark and certification. Certain auction records show premium prices for superbly preserved, well-struck pieces, and coins from the Denver and San Francisco mints in MS67 FS are especially prized due to their notorious strike difficulty. More common high-grade examples without full steps typically range from $150 to $800, while MS66 full steps coins may range from $400 to several $1,000s. RPM varieties and high-quality doubled die examples also carry added premiums depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand. The 1941 Jefferson nickels today. The ongoing popularity of registry set competition, the limited supply of top-grade full step survivors, and a growing appreciation for early series Jefferson nickel craftsmanship. Auction houses consistently report strong bids for high-end examples, especially where population reports show extremely small numbers of top-tier coins. Because early Jefferson nickels are relatively young in numismatic terms, collectors anticipate future appreciation as more collectors realize how challenging full steps coins are to obtain, especially from the pre-war years. The 1941 Jefferson nickels should focus on 3 key aspects: sharp strike, strong luster, and surface clarity. Full steps examples should always be verified through certification services such as PCGS or NGC, as minor breaks in the step detail can significantly affect value. When searching raw coins, magnification is essential, as small marks or step interruptions can easily go unnoticed. Storage should prioritize humidity-free environments, ideally with mylar flips or hard plastic slabs to preserve luster. Serious collectors may also pursue RPM or doubled die varieties. Consulting variety guides or expert attribution services can help identify these valuable subtypes. The 1941 nickels include major numismatic auctions, reputable online dealers, specialized Jefferson nickel forums, and coin shows where advanced collectors sometimes release duplicates from their registry sets. For those targeting full steps coins, patience is essential, as supply is extremely limited and demand is consistently strong. Comparing certification population reports can help collectors understand relative rarity across grades and mint marks, guiding more informed purchasing decisions. It is often better to acquire a single high-grade full steps coin than multiple lower-quality examples, as long-term appreciation strongly favors top-ranking pieces. The 1941 Jefferson nickel stands today as a compelling blend of historical relevance, aesthetic appeal, and high-grade rarity, making it one of the most desirable early series Jefferson issues for collectors seeking coins of true significance and investment potential. While common in lower grades, it becomes extraordinarily rare at the highest levels of preservation, especially with full steps designation. These elite specimens, combining pre-war history with impeccable craftsmanship, continue to set strong prices and attract devoted attention from seasoned numismatists and new collectors alike. As appreciation for the Jefferson series continues to grow, the finest 1941 nickels are poised to remain among the standout treasures of American coin collecting. The 1941 Jefferson nickel also appeals to collectors who appreciate coins that bridge two distinct eras of U.S. mint history. It represents the end of the early Jefferson nickel period, before wartime alloy changes dramatically altered the series' appearance and composition. Many seasoned collectors view high-grade 1941 specimens as the symbolic last pure copper-nickel Jeffersons before the mint transition to silver alloy wartime nickels in 1942. This transitional importance adds another layer of desirability, especially for those who prefer collecting chronological typesets or historical chapters of U.S. coinage. Because transitional year coins tend to attract enduring attention from collectors, 1941 pieces, especially those in exceptional condition, continue to gain respect as historically meaningful issues beyond their monetary worth alone. Additionally, the coin has become increasingly important in advanced registry set competition, where collectors vie for premier rankings by acquiring the finest certified examples available. As populations of top-graded 1941 full steps nickels remain extremely low, and in some cases consist of only a few known coins worldwide, the value of each newly discovered or upgraded piece increases dramatically. Collectors who chase these elusive top-tier examples often recognize them as long-term investments that will likely appreciate as populations remain static and demand continues to grow. Next up to in the 1964 Jefferson nickel holds a particularly compelling place in United States numismatics, especially when discussing its rarest varieties and exceptional high-grade examples. While billions were minted, only an extremely small subset of 1964 nickels demonstrate the combination of sharp strikes, superior preservation, unusual die characteristics, and scarce transitional features that elevate them into the category of ultra-rare collectibles. These elusive pieces have captivated collectors due to their surprising scarcity in top condition and the intense demand for registry-quality examples, making them far more valuable than typical circulation strikes. As interest in high-grade Jefferson nickels continues to rise, the ultra-rare 1964 varieties stand out as extraordinary finds. The year 1964 was one of the most unusual and turbulent moments in U.S. coinage production. Due to a nationwide coin shortage, the U.S. Mint drastically increased the output of circulating denominations, including the 5-cent piece. The 1964 Jefferson nickel was minted in enormous numbers at both Philadelphia and Denver, but the emergency-level production led to serious variations in strike quality and die longevity. As a result, well-struck, sharply detailed examples became surprisingly scarce, and error or transitional die varieties became far more interesting to numismatists. Although the design did not commemorate a special event, the year represents a turning point in minting policy, marking the end of pre-1965 traditional coinage standards and the start of modern-era mass production methods. The unique features of the 1964 Jefferson nickel add significantly to its desirability when found in exceptional condition. Felix Schlag's classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson appears on the obverse, while Monticello, Jefferson's historic estate, graces the reverse. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, and weighs 5 grams. What makes the most valuable 1964 nickels visually special is their crisp detail. Full steps on the Monticello staircase, exceptionally clean fields, and deeply lustrous surfaces free from the heavy contact marks typical of the year. Rare die varieties, such as doubled dies and transitional proof-like strikes, create dramatic visual differences that collectors will pay a premium 4.481. Rarity becomes a defining factor for the ultra-valuable 1964 nickel. Though over 1 billion were minted, only a tiny fraction exist in high-grade, fully struck, uncirculated condition. Coins showing full steps FS, 5 or 6 uninterrupted steps on Monticello, are notoriously rare for this year because the dies wore down quickly during the mint's rush to increase production. Additionally, certain double die obverse and reverse varieties, early die state strikes, and the scarce 1964 SMS style, special mint strike-like pieces believed to have been created under unusual circumstances in 1964 further elevate rarity. The combination of FS designation and gem grades, MS 65 to MS 67+, can transform a common date into an ultra-rare collector's treasure. The 1964 Jefferson nickels can be surprisingly strong. Typical circulated examples are worth face value, but ultra-rare full-step specimens in MS 66 or MS 67 have achieved four-figure prices at auction due to their incredible scarcity. Certain 1964 double die varieties, or early die state coins with exceptional luster, can also command hundreds or thousands depending on eye appeal and grading. The extremely scarce SMS-style 1964 nickels, believed to be experimental strikes, are among the most valuable, with authenticated examples selling well into the thousands. The market for these rare varieties continues to appreciate as more collectors chase high-quality Jefferson nickels for competitive registry sets. Collectors seeking investment-worthy examples of the 1964 nickel should pay close attention to strike quality, detail sharpness, and surface preservation. Coins displaying crisp steps on Monticello, strong luster, minimal abrasions, and solid die definition are significantly more valuable than average pieces. Professional certification is essential. Coins graded by PCGS or NGC provide assurance regarding authenticity, grade accuracy, and recognition of special designations like full steps. High-quality storage in temperature-controlled environments and non-PVC holders is also recommended to maintain value over time. For those hoping to acquire these high-grade rarities, patience and strategic searching are key. Reputable dealers, online auction platforms, specialized nickel shows, and numismatic communities provide the best chances of locating top-tier examples. Many collectors also search bulk rolls or inherited coin collections, as hidden gems occasionally appear in unexpected places. However, the rarest varieties, such as FS examples in MS 66+ or SMS-style strikes, are typically only found through certified auctions or advanced collectors willing to part with special pieces. The 1964 Jefferson nickel stems from its fascinating blend of historical context, design significance, and unexpected scarcity in high grade. While it originates from one of the highest mintage years in U.S. history, the truly exceptional specimens remain remarkably elusive, giving them a near-mythical status among Jefferson nickel specialists. This combination of rarity hidden within abundance is part of what makes the series so intriguing for collectors at every experience level. From an investment perspective, the rarest 1964 nickels continue to demonstrate steady appreciation. As more collectors participate in registry competitions and seek pristine full steps examples, demand for premium pieces intensifies. Meanwhile, the supply of top-grade coins is permanently limited due to the poor strike quality of the era and the scarcity of preserved early die state specimens. This supply-demand dynamic supports strong long-term value potential for the finest known examples. One of the reasons the ultra-rare 1964 Jefferson nickel has become increasingly admired is the way it bridges the gap between classic and modern numismatics. It represents the final year before the mint shifted toward new policies and production standards that reshaped U.S. coinage for decades. Because of this transitional moment, collectors often view the 1964 nickel as the symbolic closing chapter of the early Jefferson era. High-grade examples with exceptional detail serve as historical benchmarks, preserving the craftsmanship and visual character that future years often lacked due to the intense pressure placed on the mint. As more collectors grow to appreciate the historical shift represented by the 1964 issue, its rarest varieties continue to gain recognition not only for their monetary value, but also for the story they tell about the evolution of U.S. coin production. The ultra-rare 1964 nickel appeals to collectors who value both challenge and reward in their pursuits. Locating a truly premium example, especially one with full steps, flawless luster, and strong eye appeal, is a task that can take years, adding an element of adventure to the search. Many hobbyists enjoy sharing their experiences at coin shows, auctions, and online communities, and the 1964 nickel frequently becomes a topic of intense discussion among enthusiasts. This sense of shared excitement contributes to the coin's growing mystique and desirability. As collectors continue to compete for the best-preserved pieces, the ultra-rare 1964 Jefferson nickel becomes more than just a coin. It becomes a symbol of dedication, persistence, and the thrill of uncovering treasures within a series that many people once assumed held no true rarities. The 1964 Jefferson nickel represent one of the most rewarding and intriguing areas of modern U.S. numismatics. Despite being a common date in circulation, the finest high-grade and unusual die varieties remain extraordinarily scarce, making them highly sought after by serious collectors. Their rich historical background, elegant design, and impressive market performance reinforce their status as standout pieces within the Jefferson series. For collectors seeking a combination of historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and investment potential, the 1964 Jefferson nickel, especially in its rarest forms, offers an exceptional opportunity. Next up in the 1989, P. Jefferson nickel holds a surprisingly strong niche in today's numismatic market, especially in its ultra-high-grade forms and in rare-era varieties. While it was released during a period of mass production, the coin has risen in prominence due to a combination of sharp demand for pristine late 20th century examples and the heightened appreciation for well-preserved Philadelphia issues. Collectors regard this date as a challenge, not because it is inherently scarce in circulation, but because top-tier specimens represent an uncommon blend of beauty, precision, and near-perfect preservation, qualities that drive serious premiums today. As a result, the finest known pieces have become sleeper treasures in modern coin collecting. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint in 1989, this nickel emerges from a decade defined by modern minting stability but limited attention to circulating coin quality. The Jefferson nickel series, introduced in 1938, was already more than 50 years old by this point, and yet no major redesigns or commemorations interrupted the series that year. Instead, the 1989 piece serves as a snapshot of late Cold War American coinage, quietly representing an era of technological advancement and refined minting standards. Even without a commemorative theme, the coin remains historically tied to the continued legacy of Thomas Jefferson and the enduring symbolism of Monticello, both of which contributed to the series' longevity and cultural impact. The design used in 1989 follows the classic motifs created by Felix Schlag, featuring a left-facing portrait of Jefferson on the obverse and a detailed architectural rendering of Monticello on the reverse. The obverse showcases Jefferson with clean lines, a structured collar, and a dignified profile, while the P mint mark appears to the right of the portrait. The reverse remains a model of American neoclassical imagery. Monticello's columns, dome, and steps often appear soft or flat on worn examples, but they are crisp and deeply struck on the finest rare pieces. Composed of the standard 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, the coin weighs 5.0 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters, giving it the familiar look and feel associated with decades of American circulation. While millions of 1989 P nickels were minted, the true rarity lies in superb gem uncirculated examples graded MS67, MS67+, and especially MS68. The Philadelphia Mint's production quality in the late 1980s often left coins with bag marks, dull strikes, or surface chatter, meaning that only a tiny fraction survived with flawless luster and razor-sharp detail. The rarest forms include off-center strikes, double-die reverses, full steps varieties, and minting anomalies that offer collectors premium value. Full steps FS examples, which display completely sharp steps at the base of Monticello, are among the most coveted because they are notoriously difficult to find on this date. The 1989 P nickel remains worth face value, but the high-grade and error markets tell a dramatically different story. Certified MS67 coins often sell between $150 and $300, depending on eye appeal, while the elusive MS67 Plus and MS68 full steps examples can command $1,000 to over $4,000 when they appear at auction. Exceptional mint errors, such as dramatic off-center strikes or strong double-die features, routinely bring $250 to $800, with extreme varieties selling for much more. These prices reflect a rising trend in the modern coin segment, where collectors increasingly recognize the difficulty of preserving 1980s coinage in pristine form. The primary drivers behind the value of the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel are condition rarity, modern coin registry competition, and the scarcity of full-step strikes. Registry collectors in particular create intense bidding wars for the finest known examples, because even a single point increase in grade represents a massive leap in rarity. The date has no proofs and no silver varieties, which further concentrates collector attention on business strike perfection. As more collectors expand into late 20th century series, market demand for coins like the 1989 P continues to grow steadily. The 1989 P, for its dual nature, common in general circulation but rare in elite condition, making it an ideal challenge for both beginners and advanced enthusiasts. It offers an accessible entry point for new collectors who want to learn grading, and at the same time, it presents a genuine prize hunt for seasoned numismatists seeking top population examples. The coin's understated simplicity enhances its charm. There are no flashy special issues or commemorative variations, just the enduring elegance of Schlag's design executed with the difficulty of achieving preservation perfection. Beyond the traditional grading factors, one of the overlooked qualities that elevates certain 1989 P. Jefferson nickels into the upper echelons of desirability is the purity of their original mint luster. Coins from this era often display dull, satiny surfaces due to the heavy contact they endured in mint bags, which makes a fully radiant, unbroken luster exceedingly rare. When a coin from this date shimmers with cartwheel brilliance and retains razor-sharp frost across Jefferson's portrait, collectors immediately recognize it as something exceptional. These pristine nuances often separate ordinary uncirculated pieces from those capable of reaching MS67+ or MS68, levels where even a single microscopic contact mark can reduce the final grade. As a result, collectors who stumble upon a brilliantly lustrous example often scent it for certification, knowing that such pieces represent the tiny fraction of the mintage that survived unscathed. The combination of full mint bloom, spotless fields, and a strong, even strike makes these elusive survivors gems of modern numismatics. Another fascinating element influencing the long-term appeal of the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel is its growing recognition as an iconic benchmark for modern condition rarity. Many collectors who once overlooked late 1980s coinage have begun reassessing their importance in building complete registry sets, driving demand upward for the best examples. As more enthusiasts discover the difficulty of finding truly flawless business strike nickels from this period, the 1989 P has emerged as a representative of how challenging modern issues can be to source in elite grades. This shift in perception has elevated the coin from simple pocket change to an emblem of precision collecting, where meticulous attention to die quality, strike depth, and preservation plays an essential role. As interest continues to rise, collectors increasingly view the finest examples of this date not only as additions to a series, but as investments in the evolving narrative of modern American coinage. Coins that will continue to grow in prestige as pristine specimens become harder to find with each passing year. For collectors seeking the most valuable examples, it is crucial to focus on luster quality, strike sharpness, and step definition on the reverse. Full steps distinctions dramatically increase market value, but must be verified by grading services such as NGC or PCGS. When searching raw coins, inspect the steps of Monticello under good lighting, ensuring no bridging or flattening interrupts the parallel lines. Proper storage, preferably in airtight holders with minimal handling, is essential for maintaining surface integrity. Auctions, reputable dealers, and registry-oriented bidding platforms are the best sources for high-grade pieces. The 1989 P. Jefferson nickel represents a modern-era sleeper with significant potential for future appreciation. Its value does not stem from mintage scarcity, but rather from the extreme rarity of ultra-high-grade and full-step survivors. As more collectors enter the modern registry arena, coins that are nearly impossible to obtain in MS68 or higher will naturally increase in demand. The market for late 1980s nickels is still expanding, and many experts believe this area of numismatics has room for long-term growth. That the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel stands as a fascinating example of how a common coin can evolve into a highly valuable numismatic prize when condition scarcity and collector interest converge. With its elegant design, historical continuity, and challenging rarity in the highest grades, it appeals strongly to both new collectors and seasoned specialists. Its market values, driven by registry competition and limited availability of premium examples, make it one of the most intriguing modern nickels to pursue. In the world of Jefferson nickels, this coin proves that beauty, precision, and rarity can transform even the most ordinary date into a genuine treasure.